Morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut here with Francisco Rubalcava Jr. How you doing, Francisco?
Doing good. How about you?
I can't complain. I'm actually really busy this week.
That's good.
It's unusual. It's unusual just because it's been much more than normal. What I mean by that is more than I normally am. Right. There was a period of time it was really slow and there was a few little things here and there. But lately I think a lot more people are going, okay, now is the time to buy because interest rates have gotten a little bit better and we think they're going to get more better. I guess that's not a real good statement, but everything I'm reading is in January and March of next year, we're going to see some additional lowering of interest rates because of the economy. And you had some numbers come out today on Tuesday that showed that the unemployment, let me find it here. I have too much stuff over here, but I wanted to make sure I had enough. JOLTS, there it is. All right, the JOLTS report came out and it showed that normally we had 9.35 million jobs available. It dropped to 8.7 million. And that's down from the high of 2022 of 12 million. So that's like 4 million jobs gone.
No, yeah. That's like well, I've been seeing even like, you see how it reflects even like on the listing side. Like I've been getting quite a few more listings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just more sellers are almost like planning for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like are planning and waiting and they're like, hey, you know what? Like we'll take somewhat of a loss right now to know that we'll be more prepared to purchase once the rates do drop so that they're, in a better position. Because obviously, I mean, we've mentioned it time and time again, the market just gets a lot more tight,
Mm-hmm.
when the rates do drop. And I believe that a lot of people, they understand it. And it almost seems to be like the people that already have a house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are like already planning for this and foreseeing it because, they're experienced. They've seen what's happened before when they purchase. So now they're like, okay, let's get ready for the next, drop and let's be ready now, rather than waiting.
So they're putting their house on the market to sell it, so they're not a contingent offer.
Exactly.
What are they going to do in the meantime?
Well, a lot of them, honestly, I mean, whether they work back or rent back, or what a lot of them are doing, like I have a family, they're going to Texas. I have another family who, they're just like living with their parents right now, right? So it's a matter of they're just like gonna sell their house, and then once they get the money, they're gonna wait and they'll rent or whatever until they get there, until the rates do drop at where they want to be at. But exactly like you said, they don't want to list their house contingent, which that means that they would be listing their house, and that house is only going to sell if they do find a replacement property for them to move into.
Right.
So again, I mean, we saw it especially during COVID. Contingent offers were rarely getting accepted. It was a really aggressive market, and people really had to put themselves in some risky positions where they were selling their house and they were just asking for a rent back for like 30-60 days, and within that 30-60 days you better find a house.
Right. Well, the only downside to what people are doing, what you just told me, was they're selling and they're going to wait until rates go down. Well, when rates go down, you're going to be competing against 20 other people. That's they're doing great, but now they got to get in the mindset, why don't we just buy now? Because the difference between 1% in a payment versus having to pay $20,000 more a month is a big difference.
I agree. Well, it's also, and it's even also seeing a lot of people who are going on sale right now, and even just making the change right now because we do foresee those rates to drop. So we've been seeing it. I think during these times, like you said, by nature we slow down, but I myself, I also haven't seen much of a slowdown.
Right. I mean, there's pent up demand. There was a survey put out, Home Buyer Insight report. I'm not going to say who put it out. And they are saying that buyers are gradually accepting the reality of today's housing market. Only 62% of potential or prospective home buyers are willing to wait for home prices and or rates to fall. And you're saying only 62. Well, it was 85% in June. Yeah. So if buying a home is your goal and if it's within your budget, the best time to do it is when you're ready financially. So if you're ready right now financially, don't wait. Do it now because you're going to be less competition than waiting for next year. And when people say rates to drop, we're only thinking the beginning, they're only going to go from 7 1/8, 7 1/4 down to 6.8. That's only a quarter interest rate change in the first quarter. If that's what they're waiting for, don't wait. It's not worth waiting for a quarter.
Right, I agree. I always say too, I mean, no matter what, if you're in a position where, you're renting somewhere, your goal should always be to get out of that and purchase. Like I literally have a client and he texted me yesterday, pretty similar situation to, when we had helped out that other couple purchase their place where, they're living at a rental and then out of nowhere
They're gonna
he
sell it.
no, he found out the house is sold.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he didn't even wake up to a sign, nothing. Like,
Yeah, but if it's sold, does he have to get out because he had no notice?
yeah, well, now they're gonna serve him the 60-day. So I don't know if they did some sort of off market or something because he's always looking at the market. I imagine he would have seen it, but you know, it doesn't matter the relationship you have with your landlord. Like, never, never undersell the possibility of them just selling it.
Well, again, it's their property. They're going to
Yeah,
do what's best for them. They're looking out for themselves, just like you're looking out for yourself. You're not looking out for your landlord. You're looking out for yourself. And that's okay. And just understand that works both ways. It doesn't mean the landlord has to work out for you, but you don't have to look out for the landlord. You follow me here?
exactly.
And a lot of people think they should. Also, recently, the same report put out home buyers are willing to sacrifice several features to find their home quicker. That means almost a third of all people surveyed reported being ready to give up on a new home, living close to family, and having access to public transportation and or living in a neighborhood with historical charm. So many people are like, okay, well, it's about the house now. It's not about the location. It's about getting in. And so there's some big changes going on. That's huge changes compared to where it was.
Yeah, no, it's crazy too because it's like reminiscent of that COVID market, right?
Mhm.
Like where I mean, you had people just straight up, they didn't even care about the condition. They're like, just get me
Write
into a
the
house.
offer and we'll look at it afterwards. And hopefully it's a good place.
Right. No, it was and that's where I mean, that's the definitely for me at least, it's like the one place you should definitely be conscious of is, your location.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because a
Yeah.
lot of people, during that time again, yeah, they bought and they got, really low interest rates and everything. But when we look, we fast forward and then it's like, okay, where's the appreciation? Where are you at? Where's your equity? All those things. It does get impacted. So I think it is really important, to have at least that in mind.
Or if you're going to move into a neighborhood that needs to appreciate overall because it's went through that lifestyle, and it's on its way back up, just understand you're going to have to be there for 10 years for that stuff to happen. And it's a long-term change. It's not going to happen overnight. So you just have to understand what you're getting into. And by the way, there was another part of that survey that was talking about home owners. There was 50% of current homeowners would be willing to exit the mortgage to buy their dream home. All right. So the people are like, they'll never give up that mortgage. Not true. 40% of the respondents said they would move for a job opportunity or a nicer neighborhood. So this is what we talked about, getting into a nicer neighborhood. And between 30 to 40% said they'd be willing to sell for a bigger house or a social community to be part of. So there's a huge change. People were not going to move up for the longest time. So what they said, we're not going to sell this house. We're not going to get out of this lower interest rate. But again, I said it's like, an abusive relationship. It's keeping you from doing what you really want to do. And you shouldn't let that happen.
Yeah, I think it's, and I mean, I think, we've said it a lot too, where, you have to also factor in, quality of life, right?
Mhm.
Like a lot of people, it's where you're living literally every single day.
Mhm.
And, if at one point you don't feel content with it anymore and you want something different, you're going to make a change. Um, and a lot of the times, I think within the culture, right? Like it's gotten so hunkered down on like being so smart, with your finances and yes, I mean obviously you have to be, but there's a lot of people out there who will pay a bit more, just to be in that better location, just to have that extra amenity that they were missing out or
Right.
have a bigger land or whatever it is.
Put a little bit bigger lot to put an ADU in it or something to help out for. And then back to the survey, 53% of participants said home ownership was the top indicator of financial success, which is up because before it was not. Everybody was like, we can't, that's not important to me. 2/3 of them surveyed said that owning a home was one of their greatest achievements, more than raising a family or being in a committed relationship.
No, it's like and I mean, you look at that statistic, and I mean, I even look back at like when I bought, and I was scared, man. Like not scared, just I was like, am I ready for this? And I
Right.
feel like a lot of people have that question. And I mean, I look back and now it's been over a year and I I feel great. I definitely feel like it's the best decision I've made, in my whole life.
Right. And, inventory is not increasing,
Mm.
right? And nationwide inventory is down, not going up, and we're still at half of what we normally would have. So there isn't a lot of properties. So if you're interested in doing it, like you said, put your house on the market, sell it, but you should also be looking at buying right away, because don't wait for just a quarter an interest rate. Don't wait for a half an interest rate. That's not enough to offset what you're going to pay more. Because if more sellers come to the market in January, that means less they're going to take less for their house, a little bit less, right? But if the buyers come out in January, February, and March, then sellers are going to pay. You're going to pay more for those houses, and that's exactly what these people are doing. They're going from being a seller to a buyer, and they're going to run into the same issue. Just be careful the way you're doing it. Just don't wait. Just if you find that house, buy it now. Now is the time. We're at that last tipping point to where this market's going to take off again.
Right.
So, all right, Francisco, thank you so much for coming in the studio today and talking. I appreciate you being here.
No, thank you for having me.
Right.
And everybody take care. Have a great day. If you need to reach out, phone number is 209-493-2400.
All right. Again, thanks for being here and thank you for watching. And we really appreciate you. And we'll talk to you on